Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. So now we're talking about a new mental wellness app called Be by Befitment. Joining us this morning in studio is Quinton Gooding, Managing Director of Befitment, and Catherine Gordon, Director of Human Resources at Befitment. Thank you so much to both of you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure, and quite a fitting day as well, as of course today is World Mental Health Day. Now, before we get into the app, let's go to the history behind the app and Befitment itself. When did Befitment start, and why did it start, Quinton?
Befitment was a collective brainchild. Most of the people who are involved in Befitment, is a shout out to everyone. We've been involved in mental health or we call it mental conditioning, mental fitness for a long time, practicing it in our own experiences as well as putting it out to the public. And we came together from the different industries in order to see how much we can satisfy the needs of the country, because we realize there's a lot of pain points in terms of mental health and emotional wellness, and so many people weren't aware of it. So we tested this originally in 2017 at some schools, and coming out of that we realized the necessity of what was required. So we put it together, and what is the best way to get everyone's attention inside of an app.
Yeah.
So we created one right here, and as we did it, we started doing our testing. And in the testing, there's a massive stigma, as everyone is aware of, with regards to people try to avoid their natural tendency to be well.
Yeah.
So we tried to see if we could, should I say, funnel towards the use of the app so that you could help your own self and your family, because we need it in the country.
We do need it, that is for sure. It's interesting as well that you said when you tested it, you went to schools.
Yes.
Because many times when we look to mental health particularly, we automatically go to, let's say, the over 21s, the working population, because we perceive those stressors to be more impactful. So, and that you identified that need for it in 2017, and this would have been pre-COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, now we are post-COVID-19, as you said, we do need it. And I can only imagine what the positive benefits are, but something that definitely has struck me as somebody who is definitely a supporter and advocate for mental health and fitness particularly is the fact that there's a Caribbean twist. So how are we doing a Caribbean twist on a mental health app?
Person like myself, I'm a big proponent. I came out of the Kiskidi Caravan at a group called Kindred.
Yes.
And I'm popularly known as a Kindi. And because of this, I perform around, and in that, you get a love for music itself. I was taken aback by being here after so long, because I used to be here on a regular basis with the lovely Linus Pitt when he was there. And capturing everything that makes us who we are, we try to put it inside of the app. So try to deal with things and bring it in so many different levels that can relate to any situation that someone may be dealing with. So we have a little bit of music, the way we speak, the way we appear, and we utilize the full Caribbean because that's the space that we function in. And the world, although there are apps and there are businesses and organizations structured towards mental health, it's often with a twist of where they are in the US and in the European spaces. So
it definitely is. I mean, when you access some of these apps now, 9 out of 10 times, of course, they're American. So when you're speaking to them, especially if you have the option of maybe speaking to somebody online as a counselor or therapist, they're not really able to identify with what we are going through and how we go through it. Now, can we get into some of the features of the app and what's going to be available?
Sure. Yes.
Catherine?
So in the app itself, there are 44 categories where you can use these categories, things like depression, things like prosperity, abundance, stress, anxiety. But essentially, the highlight of being able to go into that particular section is the absolute confidentiality of the app, where you can be reading the different areas. You're feeling a little down today, you can go into the app and look for the session on depression or anxiety, even parenting, the different areas. And you can read what's there. You can do some of the activities, some of the exercises that are there for you. So you can use it to help yourself along the way. If you need additional counseling, additional coaching, then you can reach out into Befitment itself. And you could go further and actually take out premium membership, but the use of the app itself. So it allows you to feel freer without a sense of guilt and without a sense of shame, because it is so designed for you to use. You can be sitting on your phone and no one can know that you're actually in a counseling session.
Yeah.
You could be under a mango tree, literally on the beach in Maracas, and you are speaking with a counselor, or you're helping yourself mentally to get through something that you're facing at that point in time, and no one knows what you're doing. That's the beauty of the Be by Befitment app.
And I think that is something that will definitely resonate with many who are going through it, because as you would have mentioned, of course, we do still have that stigma that is attached to it. Now, something else I would have also noticed with Befitment is that you do offer tailored employee wellness programs, which fits very well into the theme of World Mental Health Day this year in the workplace. Is it that we're accessing this through the app as well, or we reach out to Befitment directly?
Well, most of the services that we do as Befitment, it's hybrid. So there's a digital component, and then there's an active face-to-face component. So for the corporate side, we tend to be there, present with them, but they are also able to create their own profiles as employees, and they can access, just as Catherine mentioned, where they would have their private, confidential space that they can deal with the situations that they require. And because they're, as I mentioned, the team, the psychologists involved, who they can have communication with, whether through the app directly as a chat, or if they want to make a call directly, or if they want to come down to the Balance Center.
And the Balance Center, and the Balance Center is in Chaguanas, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, with this app as well, one of the things that you would have mentioned is mental fitness. Not something that we hear a lot about, if we're being frank about it. We hear a lot about the post-trauma. So what exactly is mental fitness per se?
Because inside of the team, there are different persons who are involved in even nutrition, fitness. There's just a better way to live. And because of this better way to live, we usually look at the physical only.
Right.
But our mental it is an absolute full requirement that we live, in the best way possible. So it's a term of using mental fitness to demonstrate how you utilize your emotional intelligence, how you build your resilience, how you support yourself through life and those around you. And that's why we looked at it and said, the best way to term this and coin it would be mental, where you focus on your awareness of things, and then the fitness the same way. So we treat Befitment as a gym for your mind. So it's the sessions, everything would be conducted in that way, that the same way you would see a gym where you would do sets and reps is the exact same. Catherine mentioned premium membership, so that's the way that persons would go through it, where you build yourself completely. And you can do it privately.
And you can do it privately as well, of course. Again, just going to that fact of confidentiality, which is something that is so important. And I think as well critical for people to feel safe in accessing the services. So it's available on both Android and iOS as well. And as you did mention, of course, you do have your in-person components. Everything's hybrid happening in Chaguanas. We just have about a minute left, but I would love to get some closing comments from both of you, being in the mental health space, but also, of course, it being World Mental Health Day. So, Quinton, let's start with you.
Today's World Mental Health Day, as everyone knows, and it's something that is often taboo for a lot of people. It's a necessity because when you look at the way life conducts itself, often we don't have a full grasp of everything. We trying to piece our way through everything based on what we learned from others. So trying to grasp a full component of your being, that's what we have to deliver through the app.
And Catherine?
What I wanted to stress, though, is that use of the app is costless. It's free. It's the premium membership that's something else. And so you can feel free, anyone around the world right now, to download that app and use it and access the sort of mental support and well-being support that they need.
Excellent. Well, Catherine and Quinton, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
so much for this beautiful app. Now, for those of you who may have missed the first part of the conversation, you can go and check out the Befitment app. It's available on Android and iOS. Not just as we observe World Mental Health Day, but we work together to continue to look after ourselves and also erase that stigma. Stay tuned, because coming up on the Now Morning Show, we're going to be talking about something where you can enjoy yourself. Latin Nights, coming up next after this break.